Good morning, dear students. I hope you all are fine. So today we are going to discuss about your 8th chapter, which is a poem. The name of the poem is The Tale of Melon City. And this poem is written by the poet, an Indian poet, that is Vikram Seth. So this poem is from your supplementary reader, that is Snapshot book. So let us proceed. So this poem is basically written by the poet Vikram Seth, which is an Indian novelist and poet, and he has written several novels and poetry books, etc. And also he has received several awards like Padma Shri, Sahitya Academy Award, and Pravasi Bharati Samman, etc., etc. So the poem is taken from his you can say publishing, that is mapping, in 1981, and is included in the collected poems by Vikram Seth. And this poem is about a king who is just and placid, means to say who was very peaceful and calm in nature. And does he carries his notion of justice a bit too far. So means does that king was able to deliver the justice to his kingdom. So let us read about that thing in the poem. And the poem A Tale of Melon City is basically a humorous poem but mildly satirical, means to say a great piece of writing. It make fun of much hyped concept of laissez-faire. What is laissez-faire? Laissez-faire means a strong plea for no interference in people's life by the state. So let anyone rule the state, even if a ruler like dump, like you can say watermelon, but it makes no difference for the people. All that the people crave, all that the people want is that leave us alone, or you can say our freedom, that people want their freedom. So this poem is basically about that thing. So let us just start reading the poem. In the city of which I sing, there was a just and placid king. So the writer is saying that the city about which he was talking, there was a, you can say, a just and calm king was there. The king proclaimed an ark should be constructed that triumphantly would span the major thoroughfare to edify spectators there. So once the king proclaimed, means to say announced, that they an ark should be constructed or built in the, you can say, kingdom, to show to his people. So ark means to say a building, building like might have seen India Gate like building, arc like building, like bridge, etc. So that kind of gate, mainly gate type of building. So he want to construct a gate type of building to show his people, you can say, his glory, etc., etc. So the workman went and built the thing. They did so since he was the king. So as the king was ordered them to do so, so they the workmen came there and built that, you can say, ark. The king wrote down the thoroughfare to edify spectators there. So edify means to say uplift, or to, you can say, to show improvement in someone's morale, etc., morally or intellectually. So he just want to show off basically. So that is why after the construction of that, you can say, ark, the king passed down through that, you can say, ark. So what happened next? Under the ark he lost his crown. The ark was built too low. A frown appeared upon his placid face. The king said, "This is a disgrace." So, what happened when he was, you can say, walking down that ark? What happened? The crown of the king hit against that and fell down, because ark was built too low. So the king was very angry and he felt disgraced. He felt that it is my insult. And as you know, that king crown is the, you can say, very special thing for a king, and if it is, you can say, fell down, so it is like an insult for the king. So the chief of the builders will be hanged. The rope and gallows were arranged. So king ordered now that who had built this building, the chief of those builders will be hanged now. And arrange karo, kya arrange karna hai? The rope and gallows, means rope and that fancy kafan, the gallows. So, O king, it was the workman's fault, O said the king, and called a halt to the proceedings, being just and placider now. He said, I must have all the workmen hanged instead. So now the builder, that chief builder of that building, he came in front of king and he said to the king that this is not my fault actually, this is the fault of the other workmen who were building actually that building. I was just their chief. I was acting their chief. I hadn't built this building actually. This was built by the workman. So this is not my fault. So king said, yes, stop this. So you can say stop his hanging. We will hang the workmen now. Call the workmen and we will hang those workmen. So next is, have all the workmen hanged instead. The workman looked surprised and said, O king, you do not realize the bricks were made of the wrong size. Now, when he called the workmen for hanging, so again the workmen said that this is not our fault, and they said that the mason had made the bricks of wrong size. So they are saying that it is not our fault, the fault is of the person who had made those bricks. So summon the mason, said the king. The mason stood there quivering. It was the architect, they said. The architect was summoned. So again, now masons were summoned before the king, means the king ordered now that bring the masons. Now masons stood there trembling before the king, and they said that they pleaded before the king that it was the architect's fault. It was his fault. It is not our fault. So then the king said, okay, call the architect now. So architect was summoned. So next, well, architect, said his majesty, I do ordain that you shall be hanged. Said the architect, O king, you have forgotten one small thing. So now the king called architect, and the architect said that yes, that person was summoned, and king said yes, you will be hanged for your fault. So now the architect said that king himself had made changes in the plan when he showed them to him. So architect said, this is not my fault, you might have forgotten, so that you have changed the plan. Actually that plan was changed by you, not by me. I have just followed what you have given me. So you made certain amendments to the plan when I showed them to you. So he was saying like this. The king heard this. The king saw red. In fact, he nearly lost his head. So yes, now king was very confused, and he was very angry. Red means to say he was very angry. Since the king was just and calm king, he observed that it was a very difficult job and he needed some advice. Now king know that the architect was, you can say, innocent. There is no mistake done by him. So as we know, but being a just and placid king, he said, this is a tricky thing. I need some counsel. Bring to me the wisest man in this country. So he said that this is very difficult to decide whose mistake is this. So he said, just arrange some counsel. I need some wise man, and bring the wisest man of the country in front of me, so that I can take advice of that person, that whose fault is this actually. So the wisest man was found and brought, nay, carried to the royal court. So then they found the you can say wisest man, and that wisest man then came to the royal court. He could not walk and could not see, so old and therefore wise was he. So he was, you can say, he could neither see or nor walk, as he was very old, and he was very wise because of his age old experience. So but in a quivering voice he said, the culprit must be punished. But in his, you can say, trembling voice, he said that the culprit must be punished. We will punish the, you can say, the person who is responsible for this mistake. Truly the ark it was that banged the crown off, and it must be hanged. So he said that it was the ark that knocked down the crown of the king. So he said that yes, the building that they have built, that is responsible for knocking off the crown of the king, for falling down of the crown of the king, and it must be hanged. So that person whose mistake is this in building that small ark, so that person must be hanged. So to the scaffold the ark was led, when suddenly a counselor said, how can we hang so shamefully? What touched your head, your majesty? So now, but then a counselor said that it would be shameful to hang something that had touched the king's head. So that person was saying actually because Scaffold means a temporary structure on the outside of the building. So he's saying that how we can hang or how we can punish the any of you can say person like this. True misused the king. By now the crowd restless was muttering loud. But what happened next? The you can see people, the crowd outside gathered the royal court, and they all want that the person who is responsible for insulting the king like this, who was responsible for the knocking off the you can say crown or felling down of the crown of the king, that person must be hanged now. So, but the crowd had become restless by then, and people had gathered there to see the hanging. So the king perceived their mood and trembled and said to all who were assembled, let us postpone consideration of finer points like guilt. The nation want a hanging. Hanging must be someone, and that immediately. Now the king said that we can't do this, and he was like that we will find the guilty person and then we will hang that person. But the crowd is saying that no, you should hang that person immediately now, and they were demanding like this. The noose was set up somewhat high. Each man was measured by and by. Now, what they did, they just hang the noose. Noose means to say that rope, that gallow, fancy ka fanda jo hota hai. So they hang that, and now they hang that at a certain height, and now they are just you can say choosing the person one by one standing over there, and they just want to check whose height will match quickly to that noose. So but only one man was so tall he fitted one man, that was all. So they were checking the heights, etc. Some person were short and some were you can say too much heighted. So neither was fitting in that loose. But what happened? Finally, the one man came, and that was exactly fit into that loose, into that row, and he was the king. His Majesty was therefore hanged by the royal decree. So what happened? That person was king, and that king was hanged now. So see how foolish those people were actually. So how humorous this poem is, that they were unable to find the guilty person, and finally they have made a noose, sorry, and they have adjusted the height of noose in such a way that by chance that is fitted in the neck or the in the you can say in the on the head of the king itself. So the king was hanged in this way. Thank goodness we found someone, said the minister, for if instead we had not, the unruly town might well have turned against the crown. So now what the stupid minister is saying, that thank goodness that we have found, finally we have found someone to hang. And he is saying that what if we was unable to find that person, what happened then, कि फिर तो सभी लोगों ने हमारे खिलाफ हो जाना था. We couldn't be able to handle that situation. So long live the king, the minister said, long live the king is dead. So now they were saying like long live the king, long live the king, but king actually is dead now. They pondered the dilemma. Then, being practical minded men, sent out heralds to proclaim in his former majesty's name. Now they were trying to find out the new king of their kingdom, because the king is dead now. So they are now trying to find out the new person who can rule their kingdom. The next to pass the city gate will choose the ruler of our state. So what they decided? They decided that any person who will come next into our you can say main gate of the kingdom, that person will decide the next ruler of our kingdom. As is our custom, this will be enforced with the due ceremony. So this was the custom of that place. They were having the tradition of doing so, that the person who will come first into the gate of the kingdom, that will decide the next next king of the kingdom. So in this way, they were saying that we will follow the complete ceremony and we will declare that person as a king of our country. A man passed by the city gate, an idiot. The guard cried, wait. Now, what happened? Suddenly, a man came into the gate of the kingdom, and that by chance that person was a totally stupid or an idiot person. And the guards cried to that person, wait here. And who is to be the king? Decide a melon, the idiot replied. Now they asked from that person that according to you, what or who will be the king of this kingdom now? And that stupid person was having no idea of how to answer this question, and he said melon. He said melon, and this was his standard answer to all question. He liked melon. You are now our king, the minister said, crowning a melon. Then they led the melon to the throne and reverently set it down. So what happened then? They all agreed, all ministers agreed with that stupid person that yes, okay, if you said melon, then melon will be our king. And they crowned the melon. उन्होंने melon को ही crown डाल के सीट पे बैठा दिया, throne पे बैठा दिया, and उसको ही king बना दिया. So this happened years and years ago. When now you ask the people, so your king appeared to be a melon, how did this happen? They say, well, on account of customary choice, if his majesty rejoice in being a melon, that's okay with us, for who we are to say what he said, what he should be, as long as he leave us in peace and liberty. The principles of laissez-faire seems to be well established there. So now this happened years and years ago, and when you ask people, so this thing happened years and years ago, and when you ask from the people that are you happy with your new ruler, are you happy with your new, you can say, king, so they what they reply, account of customary choice, if his majesty rejoice in being a melon, that's okay with us, for who we are to say. So the people said yes, it is completely okay, we are not any kind of, we don't have any kind of you can say problem with the melon as a king. So they are very happy. Why they were happy? What he should be, as long as he leave us in peace and liberty. So that they said that melon will not impose any kind of restrictions on us, any kind of you can say कोई भी उन पे वो धक्के वाला हुक्म नहीं चलाएगा. So they were happy because they were now in a free they are very free to do anything, they are having freedom and liberty. So the principles of laissez-faire, which is what is that thing? That is means to say the freedom, the complete freedom, that is you can say done by in this way. So this is all about your poem, which is a humorous poem, but actually the idea behind the poem is that all what people demand is the complete liberty and complete freedom. What they want is complete freedom, no matter who is the ruler, and whether it is a, you can say, melon, watermelon, or anything, a ruler like dumb like melon, they will have no problem with that. What they want only is the freedom, is the liberty. So this is the idea behind the poem, which is written by Vikram Seth. So I hope you have enjoyed this poem. So thanks for listening and have a nice day.